y'all, Nikki here from Plant Parenthood. I have walked around the garden and my Nepenthes, which is a carnivorous plant, is really drying out too quickly and they require distilled water. They can't handle the tap water. So I'm going to transfer it into a pot that does not drain and I'm just going to watch the watering. It's really hard to kill these with overwatering. Although the Nepenthes of all carnivorous plants like to be a little bit drier, they don't mind drying out. But the pictures are beautiful. It's just not growing as quickly as I'd like for it to. And I think it's because I'm letting it get too dry. So we're going to repot it into a pot that has no drainage holes. And I'm going to put it into sphagnum. So, all right, let's get to it. Okay, so to get started, I have this pot that I've had for a while. It doesn't have drainage holes. You can punch these out to have drainage holes. So the good news is if this plant stays too wet, I'll be able to go back in retroactively and punch these out. But I'm going to give this a shot because this is my Nepenthes, and it was a gift to me that I got last year, and it's about the same size as it was last year, and it's in full sun. So I'd like to go ahead and repot it. I think it's just kind of struggling here, and it's lost some soil. They actually don't live in soil. These carnivorous plants get all their fertilizer from bugs in their pitchers, so it's real easy to burn them with soil that's got fertilizer. I'm going to plant mine up in sphagnum that is fertilizer free, so I'm hoping I can make this plant happier, and I'm probably going to have to trim some of it off as I get through it because this is the first time I've ever repotted this plant. I'm going to go ahead and take the hanger off and pull it out. And it is really wet because I just watered it, but it was super thirsty. You can see how it's pretty dry under there. So I'm going to try to remove a lot of the soil, although I will reuse it. It's still good soil. It's just I think we need to add some sphagnum to it. Oh, looks like it's two plants in one. It's just potted up as two. I'm going to take time and go through and clip off all the dead growth on it. Since I'm taking the time to do that, I don't remember if I sterilized these, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This part is completely dead, so I'm going to throw that out. Just trying to clean it up. All these pitchers that are dead, I'm going to go ahead and trim with scissors. And I have sterilized these. This pitcher is completely dried up, so it's not doing the plant any good, so I'm going to cut it off. If you have a pitcher, though, like this, see how pretty it is? This one right here is pretty much spent too, so I'm going to take it off. You don't have to. You don't have to take them off. They will eventually just dry up and die off. It's just I'm trying to make this plant look better than it was, and if I'm here doing it anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and help it out. They're really interesting plants. They're highly reliant on swamp grounds, grasslands, and swamplands. A lot come from the United States. They are becoming a little bit endangered, not just the Nepenthes, but carnivorous plants in general, because the swamplands in America are dwindling. So it's really important that we preserve these plants, in my opinion, because, well, we never really want anything to go extinct before it's time due to humans destroying the environments that they live in. So I do feel some responsibility to these plants and making sure we continue with them. They are super unique, prehistoric, and I just love them. I think they're great. All right. It's really cool too to see bugs get in here. They're also called pitcher plants. Pitcher plants are Nepenthes. So, all right, there's one. I didn't even realize it was two plants. But see how dry that one is and gross. So I'm going to come in here, and since it was the same plant, I don't have to sterilize my scissors. Get the really dead stems off. It struggled in the winter too. Uh-oh, I cut one that I wasn't supposed to. Let's see if it's got roots and if I can. You know, actually, it is dead on the bottom, so I think it was going to die anyway. It does have a stem that I think will root up, so I may plant it in there too and see if I can get some roots. But I certainly didn't mean to clip it. I got a little clip happy in here. There's a lot going on. If you do that, generally most plants you can propagate if you've accidentally clipped something that you weren't supposed to. The only thing is most plants with leaves, there are some succulents and there are some leaves or some plants that you can propagate from leaves, but most plants need something more than a leaf to propagate. They need nodes, or they need the ability to root up. Okay, oops, here's one more. I've got it all cleaned up now, which is great. I'm gonna get in here, and looks like there's a baby one coming right here. So that's good news. Just gonna get rid of most of this, and I probably will put some of this back in because, like I said, I just got this plant last year. The soil's probably good. I don't see any, I mean, they're bug-eating plants, so rarely do they get pests. I'm going to go ahead and put, I think I'm going to layer it. I think I'm going to put some of this peat moss, and then I'm going to put some of sphagnum. Okay, I'm just going to mix it up. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Cora! It's enough. Cora, that's enough. All right, I'm just going to kind of mix it all up in here. I'm hoping this sphagnum will help keep it a little bit easier to water and light and fluffy. All right, so I'm going to start putting some of this in here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there we go. To about here. Cora, love, shh, quiet. I'm going to pack. I'm going to need some more sphagnum. This pot is bigger, so I'm going to pack around this plant with this sphagnum, and it's okay for it to be a little bit wet because these plants like it wet. They don't really want to dry out, although these, if you're wanting to try a carnivorous plant, these are the ones to start with. They are the most forgiving of all the carnivorous plants, in my opinion, because you can let them get bone dry for a day or two, and they seem to do okay despite really liking to be almost wet all the time. And I'm going to, this is a plastic pot, so it's really easy for me to drill some holes into it. So I'm going to drill some holes into it, and I'm going to put a hanger on it because they look the coolest when they're hanging, because the pitchers have somewhere to go. So they'll start to drop and hang down. I'm hoping this makes this plant happy. I'm going to push down on the rim a little bit so that when I do water it, the water doesn't spill over right away. And there's the start. I'm hoping she's happier in this. I'm going to go drill holes in this, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, it's a little messy. I'm going to water it, but you'll see how I drilled holes, and I'll put this wire hanger on it. So now I'm going to water it really well and then go hang it outside.